Hello to our First Covenant Church family. I'm here with Pastor Mike and Brad Goudy, who is the vice chair of our church council. And we greet you with Paul's words to the Philippian church. Grace and peace to you from God our Father and our Lord Jesus Christ. I thank God for you each time I remember you. While we haven't been able to see you, we can see that you're watching online and you continue to give and support us with notes of encouragement. And so we say thank you so much. We look forward to moving out of this time of exile when we can again be a gathered community connecting to God together as a church family. Now, over the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of discussion about safely opening up our country and our state. And this includes churches and other places of worship. There is no one-size-fits-all, no one perfect plan for doing so. Churches across the country and also across Minnesota have responded in different ways and also with different phases.
So, as you probably have been watching the news, it's pretty obvious of the many different state guidelines that have been coming out in regards to churches reopening. Some of these include the fact that seating capacity is supposed to be at 25% of what the fire marshal says for the room. You have to keep 6 feet of distance between families at all time. There's to be no handshaking, no mingling in the building, no kids ministry. Consider making face masks mandatory. Leave the building as soon as service is done. There's just all these restrictions. They even say that you shouldn't sing as a congregation because it can project the spread of the virus more frequently than it can be in just talking. And so you can see that there's a number of these restrictions that may make this idea of connecting to one another quite a challenge.
On Monday night, our church council met, and this was one of the items that we chose to discuss. And we decided as a council to take a patient approach to this. Our leadership would love to have us all back in church again. We long for that day too. But there are many factors to think about, as he has said. And we decided that by vote that we would wait until our next meeting, which is June 22nd. And we'll see how the state is at that point. And we'll then make further decisions at that point.
Now, having said that, we know that this may be a disappointment to many of you. It's honestly a disappointment to us. These many weeks of separation have been a loss for all of us, and we understand your sadness, and we understand your frustration, and many other emotions that you might be feeling. We also want you to know that this is a decision that isn't made out of fear. It is one made out of a desire to serve other people, truly to serve other people.
We can't forget that we are a church that is committed to connecting to the world. And that means that we are going to be good neighbors, loving those who are in and around Red Wing. And we believe that this includes being cautious and being cautious with our approach, given the fact that large, close gatherings is an issue for this virus. And so we want to be intentional about the fact that in connecting to the world, that says something about how we approach our reopening.
And we're being patient out of love and consideration, not just doing what we can do. We feel this is a Christ-like response.
Now, how we handle these days in this forced time of exile, as we've been calling it, in many ways is a witness to the world. And it speaks of our care to people, and how we serve them. As we have said many times, the church is not a building. It is a mission. It is a movement.
God invites us to continue to be the church during this time.
And we can pray. We can pray for our leaders on the federal level, the state level, local level.
We are invited to let our light shine during these dark times by having a non-anxious presence and a gracious spirit as we interact with people.
We are invited to be a good neighbor, literally to our neighbors who live around us.
Hold your opinions loosely and your commitment to Christ tightly.
In essence, practice resurrection.
Now, we want to also share with you that we still are moving, and we have some exciting things we do want to share with you. So just to kind of give you a little update, to recap, we are in essentially phase 1 still of reopening, which I believe was shared just a week or two ago. And so what that means is that you still have access to our facility. Maybe you need to meet with a pastor, or maybe you need to meet with Sarah about something going on in your life, or something in regards to the life of the church. You can still do that. You can also access our church library. The ladies have done a great job to keep that stocked and fresh, and so I encourage you to even maybe check out a book. But the reality with that, though, is that part of phase 1 means the building is still locked. And so we encourage you to call ahead, make an appointment to make sure somebody's going to be here, and then when you get here, the phone number's posted on the door. Call us, we'll come let you in, and so you can do what you need to do during that time. Also, phase 1 is encouraging our church community to worship with one another together still in a unique way. So Minnesota guidelines do allow for gatherings of 10 or less. And so we have been encouraging our families to connect with another family from our church, to gather in somebody's home and to turn on the live stream and to worship together, to be mini house churches all over Red Wing. And I know a number of people have already started to do that. And so we, given you have the ability to do so, take care of your health safely. But if you can, we encourage you to do that as well during this time. And speaking of live stream, one of the things we know is we're going to be in this online world for a while, but we don't want to just have that posture of just getting through this time. In fact, we decided we want to be forward thinking. And so we agreed on council that we would invest in a whole new live streaming system, getting better cameras and legit switchers and all these kind of things to make our online worship experience just a lot better. And so we are excited to announce that we are moving forward with that. We're looking for a few people who may want to help donate to this cause, so that way we can offset the church budget. But we are looking forward to that, and as things continue to initially roll, literally today I got the email to get the ball moving, and we might have this gear mid-June, which we're so excited for. And so, again, if you are interested in donating to help make that happen, talk to Pastor Mark, talk to myself. We'd love to have you help make that happen. And then lastly, to know that we are still rethinking what reopening FCC facilities would look like. And so we would actually love your input on that. Attached to this email that you're getting with this video down below, you'll see a link to an online Google survey. We would love for you to just take a couple minutes to let us know kind of where you're at, what you think, which will help us kind of discern when and how we reopen in-person services. And so we would love your feedback as we reconsider that on June 22nd at our next council meeting.
To that end, if you have any questions, please feel free to call us, email us, the pastors or any one of the members of the council, to let us know how we can help, what we can do, what questions that you might have. I know that this is a difficult time for every single one of us, and we wish it weren't this way. But please reach out to us if you have a need, if you have a question. We'd love to discuss that with you. But in this interim time, we pray that God would bless you richly and bless through you abundantly. We hope to see you very, very soon.